RJ, um, right off the bat, man, thanks for coming on. Always stoked to have new people on. And with your case, man, obviously, like we ran into each other at Qualls, and immediately I'm just like, man, like this kid, he knows what he's talking about. He's eager, excited about the sport. Like, gotta have him on. That was like my first kind of initial thing, man. Gotta have you on. So thanks for coming on. Thanks for agreeing to come on. Um, but yeah, man, like I always start off with anybody new. Like, I gotta know, man, like how'd you start running? Like, what's the story into your involvement in the sport?
Well, I think it started in fifth grade. I started doing Let Me Run, which I did that in the second quarter of the school, so I never got to do it the first. But it was just a lot of fun. Speaking that I come from a running family, so I already had experience with running, and it was really fun to do a 5K. So yeah, that's let's say how I got into running.
Yeah, man, let me run. I'm up. I'm familiar with it because I saw one that was in Charlotte not that long ago. So I'm familiar with that. Hobbies, man. What kind of hobbies are we doing like outside of the sport? Because I know the sport takes up a lot of time, but gotta have something.
So I do when I can do it, I do fishing. I like going hunting with my dad up in Pennsylvania. Um, I like hanging out with my friends out here in the neighborhood. That's a lot of fun. Just playing football, any sports we really want to do that day.
Yeah, no, of course, man. Shoot, I it's funny because like I got into fishing pretty late, I guess I would say, compared to most. But I'm from Florida originally, and all my friends they love fishing. I was like, all right, sure. So we just go out and do it, and I grew to love it. I'm like, man, like what have I been missing out on my whole life? Like it's cool to just kind of just cast out it and see what you get. Although I would always get like the crappiest fish ever, like a puffer fish, and I'd be like, whatever. But it's fun. It's nevertheless it's fun. Um, so getting into like the season, right? So we talk about obviously we're gonna talk about the whole season, but I'm curious to know like how was summer training like getting up to the season? How'd that all feel?
That was terrible for me. So I got 2 days in with the team, and then we headed to Disney World, which completely messed up everything. It was a bunch of fun though. But as soon as that happened, I went straight to my dad's, and I got sick for the first 2 weeks of running. Like it would be weird. Like one day I'd be sick, the next day sick, then I'd be fine for one day, get a run in, and then be sick over and over again. I don't know what happened. And then once I could start running again, I did, and I was still building up my mileage, from the first 2 weeks. So I really did not get a lot of miles in this summer, which was a bummer.
Well, the good thing is obviously you're young, so you have plenty of time to get those miles in for sure. You can never go wrong with going to Disney, man. That you can never go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess obviously with those expectations, then I having not the best summer in your eyes. What were some of the goals heading into the season then?
Well, I'm a really naturally gifted runner, and I know that. I'm very happy about that. So going into the season, the I was like really all over the place because at the time trials I ran a 20-minute and 22-second 5K. I didn't know where I was gonna go from there. I just wanted to break 20 then, and then the first race at Eye Opener I did that, and it just got way better over and over.
Yeah, how you bring up eye opener. How do you like the course? Do you like eye opener? Like everything that it kind of embodies, or what?
Yeah, I love Eye Opener because it's just a really fun race going against like 500 people, and it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, it was also my first race, so I'm a little bit more biased for it.
No, that's true, man. It's funny because I was telling my son, because he's a freshman, and he like so his opening race was eye opener as well, and then like and obviously like covering the sport the last season, I the things and like some of the ins and outs of the course already, and I was telling him like it really is like a heck of a place to open up the season because it's so big and there's so many people and the hype is all up there because everyone wants to run fast, but it's like take a chill pill for a second. It's the first race of the year, really. Like, no worries if you don't. Um, but it's yeah, it is a heck of a race. I want to go and ask about, because obviously, like, you look at that time and then you look at like where your PR is now, breaking 18 for the first time. Like, was that something that you knew was in the cards, or was it something that just kind of like randomly happened? You're like, oh my gosh, what just happened?
So, I had a feeling it happened. The thing was, I did kind of have a goal to do it because my grandpa said I'd get a $500 budget if I broke it this year, which I don't think he expected me to do that. But it was always the goal. But what happened was, I think I recognized I could do it maybe at Starlight because that's when I ran an 18:28, and it was like kind of a bad course since it was the extra point one, and that's when I started putting the puzzle pieces together. I was like, maybe I could do this, and then on the Wednesday, I ran an 18. I think it was an 18:18, and that's when I was like, if I really set my mind to this, I can do it.
Yeah, and so when you run the 1752, is there like a point in that race where you notice anything different? Like, is it like maybe the start, or even like in the first mile, 2 mile, you're just like, all right, like things are really clicking today?
Yeah, so the start was definitely not it. I think I was one of the first, like, I might have been the in the very back of the pack on the start, but I'd say it was maybe the 2 mile mark because I felt like, wow, I actually have a lot of kick left. I've been hearing the mile splits and it's going really good. But once I got to the 800 or 400 left, I started my kick, which it wasn't a fast kick. I would just slowly started bringing it up over time, and that's what I think got it for me is that I just did not slow down for the last 400.
Yeah. Do you? I always ask this because I'm curious. Like, do you think you have a strong kick, or do you, or is like you're just like absolutely not, like you are not known for the finish?
Uh, if kick is the last 10 meters, I say I would have a good kick, but I don't have like I can just pick it up really fast. But I'm able to gradually make a fast pace over a longer distance. So that's why I feel like I have a okay kick. It's not good like when you think of last 100 meters. Can you dead sprint it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same way, man. I would always have to kind of like if I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna have to burn the legs out from like half a mile out to try and just run out a kick out of you. So yeah, same thing. When I guess with like any race, I feel like when you talk about like eye opener, that's pretty chaotic to hear anybody. Maybe Starlight because like you run through the tent area, so you're a little bit more intimate with the crowd, and then obviously passing like the bleachers multiple times. Um, and there's a couple courses like that. But do you hear anybody? Like, do you hear your parents or anybody, your friends?
Uh, I normally hear a lot of people. My mom being the loudest one tends to be, which is a good thing for me. But I also hear a lot of my teammates since like I have a unique name. RJ, you don't hear a lot of people with that name. So I feel like I hear a lot of people, like for my teammates and stuff. So there was one time at a coach's classic that someone also had the name Arjun. I was running with them, so that was a little bit confusing.
Oh wow, yeah, that would definitely be, definitely be coaches class. You like well, hey, so big question on the channel, big question on the channel, and maybe you'll be an outlier, but Newberry, are you a fan or absolute hate it?
That might be the worst course ever made.
Ooh,
I'll never want to run there again.
oh my goodness, really? That bad?
Yeah, I hate that course. It was
Is
I went from the 1752 to having a terrible day at state qualifiers with the hot heat in the course, and I ran 1922, which is terrible for me.
Yeah, I will say like with with Newberry, it's tough. Like it's a tough course to race, and I think it's in a way, and you can never compare it to Wake Med in North Carolina, but like in a way, it's a course you have to run, I think, multiple times before you really understand like how to race it, because it seems like a lot of kids do kind of struggle on it. Just the hills are challenging enough, and it typically does run slow. Like we had one kid on the team, he ran like 1808, and he was like more of like an 1820, 1830 guy the whole season. So I was like, oh my gosh, like if you PR at Newberry, like dude, sky's the limit of what you're gonna do at Aiken. Like, and it's crazy because some kids really do PR at Newberry, and you saw that with Ella over at Clover. Like, she ran sub 18 on that course, so you're like, oh my gosh, like she's got to be able to crush it elsewhere, you know. Um, I guess so because obviously you didn't run in the state meet, but you were there. What were some like of your initial thoughts of it? Like, did you like the course? Um, would you say? I mean, I guess I assumed the answer to this one, but would you rather it be there than at Newberry, or would you like Newberry to be the state meet more?
Um, I definitely want the Aiken course, but when I was hearing like your estate, like what you think about them, I definitely agree with the Fort Jackson course. Probably because I lived on Fort Jackson, I know the course a lot more than most people do. But definitely Aiken for the states, and then the course I did like it. Just that there is that like sandbox of doom, and like almost not even the first mile, where it's like it's kind of like Polly's Island, just on steroids for that one part. It looks pretty fun. It's like a flat course, but it's not like a really fast course. But it's still, I'd rather run there than Newberry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, Jackson Tuck, he did run. What did he run? 15:03, I think, or 15. He ran something. He ran something pretty quick. So I
Yeah.
mean, quick enough. Imagine if the sand wasn't there, probably could have gone. Probably could have gone sub 15. But I am curious because it was interesting because I don't know if you noticed, but like the dust kick up from the cart as well. Like that was something that I was like really kind of like, ooh, like that's not good for this course. And obviously you don't see that at Newberry, being all grass. Um, do you have a favorite course
Oh
of,
yeah,
out of any?
for
And it could
sure.
be in state or out of state or anywhere.
Well, I've never ran out of state yet. Since this is still only my first year, I haven't done a ton of courses. But right now, it'd be Trojan. That course is amazing in my opinion because the first 100 meters, besides the sidewalk, which is really annoying on those bikes, but the first 100 meters are so flat you can get out fast, and there's a little steep or a little downhill there, and then it's basically the only bad thing about Trojan, which it isn't even that bad, is that one uphill once you're like a little bit done with the first mile, I think, and you have to go up it two times. That uphill gets you. It's not something like crazy uphill, but it's like a slight incline for a while.
Yeah, it's yeah, thankfully we went out there for York County Championships. Yep. And yeah, it's a good course. I heard they changed a little bit of it. I didn't really know. I mean, I didn't really notice the change personally. Um, but it is a pretty good course for sure. I thought you were gonna say the one weird part was when you're like in the woods over by like the baseball fields. That part seems a little because there's like a hairpin turn, and I think it leads like right to the 2 mile mark. Um, that was a little strange, but nevertheless, I mean, yeah, they put on a really great meet there, and obviously they hosted county, so um, it's got to be pretty solid. When you look at like the whole season as a whole, I always like I always think there's like things you can reflect on, the good and the bad. But I wouldn't even say it's bad because you're learning about it. But what are some of the things that you think that you could improve on or could work on for next season, or even getting ready for track?
So one thing I definitely need to work on is my mile. I want to go sub 5 this year. I ran at time trials yesterday, 5:09, but I need to get a faster 100 meters. I need to build up strength. This is embarrassing, but my 100 meter all out sprint is a 15 flat, which
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
for me it is because like my teammates were like almost jogging it, and I was getting outpaced when I'm
Oh Lord.
dead sprinting it, which was not the most fun experience. Speaking that I normally am like able to keep up with them, which was not able to happen on the strides.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, when you think about, because I mean that's 30-second pace for two. That's not terrible. I mean, especially for your age. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, I also feel like I need to work on my third lap in the mile. I've only ran 1 mile, but yesterday I was able to tell I was sub 4 pace for the first two, and then the third mile it just went downhill. And then I picked it back up on the fourth, but it wasn't enough to save me from third lap.
Yeah, the third lap is that's one. It's funny. I've told a story um when I was probably 19 and I hadn't run the mile in like for a good while. Um and I was like, yeah, you know what? Like I want to break 5 in the mile. Like let me train for a couple weeks and give it an attempt. And I'm telling you, it was probably like 2 weeks, and this is crazy. I was in really great shape, but it was like 2 weeks, and I go out there and I try and like even split the thing, and I get to the third lap, and I'm like, nope, just not in the car. Like I just could not hold it, and so I go back a couple days later. I try it again, do the same thing. I'm like, okay, let me even split this thing again. Third lap, nope, couldn't do it again. So I was like, all right, like you know what? I'm just gonna go all out and just see what happens. And I ended up splitting like 222 at the half, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. Even if I die out, I got this. So breaking 5, I definitely. Um, it's tough. It's tough. That third lap really will get you, but obviously just working on it, and you'll get there. Um, is that so? Is that kind of because I know you mentioned again, like the kick's not like as strong as you would want it to be, and I feel like you kind of need that for the 800. Is the 800 though something that like you would entertain trying to do, or you feel like the mile is kind of the sweet spot for you?
Well, I don't actually think either of them are going to be. The 800 for sure is not going to be my thing. I'm just going to do it this 1 year and then go to NAFO track next year, 8th grade. The mile, I don't feel like I'm terrible at it, but I feel like I'm actually going to be really good at the 2 mile. As much as that is a hard event, I want to try that out because since it's more aerobic than the mile and the 800, and I'm more of an aerobic runner, that I think will be my strong suit.
Yeah, yeah, I was never a miler either. My one of my best friends, he basically had to pull me to anything I was gonna go fast, and um 2 miles is really the sweet spot. But I feel like a lot of guys do kind of shy away from it in a way, because everybody loves the mile and they love the speed and how quick it is. Um, but no, kudos to that man. Obviously, like go and get yourself a good 2 mile for sure. When you look at the team, obviously, Nation Forward, fourth place finish at state, like that is a dang good finish. You can't dog that at all. Um, and a young team, like a very promising future you guys have. I wouldn't say like you should feel pressure, but do you see that though? Do you see like, hey, like we do have a pretty good core for the years to come. Like if we just keep working, like we're gonna be a team to really be fighting pretty soon.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. The good thing about our team, though, is that I don't feel like a lot of our youth, like me, Sparsh, Alejandro, we don't really feel that pressure as much. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know if they do, but from what I've seen, I don't feel like we really care that much. We just try to go out and run fast. We try to catch a lot of the older guys, which I'm struggling to do since they're so much bigger than me. But I feel like we have a very promising future. Speaking that we're only losing one senior, and he was our number 7 at states, and we're gonna have Robert, our number 1 guy. He's a really good guy. Same with Nick and Alex and Aiden. They're just really nice people. But I feel like our team's gonna be amazing. Like how many like sophomore, juniors, and 8th graders we have. It's really good.
Yeah, that's something like I think a lot of teams I don't want to say fail to look at, but like sometimes you are caught up in the moment and like of now, and I think like it's a good thing. You definitely don't want to like shy away from that. But if you do kind of invest into like again like you and like the younger guys, the younger core, that's where you see like Lexington and the Fort Mills and JL man, like you could take two of those guys out and they have guys that'll fill those spots and be like interchangeable for years down the road. So that's really good that you guys kind of like already kind of acknowledge that and see like, yeah, you know what, we do have a team for the future and we're working on it now. Um, when you talk about like the goals for track, obviously you said you want to go sub 5 for the mile. And you said you just ran like what did you say 509 for like a time trial?
Yeah,
That
for
was?
time trial, I ran 5 and 9. I was gonna do the 800, but I got a bad calf cramp, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna push that. So I quit.
Was that the only event you did? Was the mile
Yeah.
or it was yeah, so I mean, Jesus, 509 already. Um so I'm I guess assuming like are you already completed with your break from cross country or and like already started for training or was that like time trial just like random just to see how it was like after the season was over?
So yeah, we I this is my first day of break actually. So yeah, I'm very happy about it. So we had one practice on Monday, Tuesday, yesterday was the of course the time trials, and now it's the break pretty much. I know some of my friends or some of my teammates are going to NXR, which I'm kind of jealous of.
Is there a reason you don't want to go out there or you just want the break?
I want the break, and also my mom would not want to take me there.
Well, yeah, you never know. I mean, you have years to continue with it anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Um, but that's good, man. Honestly, like a break is needed. I feel like a lot of people like don't get me wrong, like I'm super eager to get like right back into it as well, but a break's important. Are you taking like 2 weeks off, 3 weeks, four,
No,
10,
I'm taking 10 days off. So
10 days off? Oh my God. I
yeah,
mean, there's ways of doing it. There's ways of doing it. So I never judge. I never judge a team or a coach and how they approach it. 10 days is whew, a short, man. That's short, but it's good. It's good you get into it. And obviously like track you're not doing the crazy miles for like cross country would be anyway. So it's understandable. Um, when you look back at this year, and again, you're young about it, but you do have like a good perspective on it. I'm always curious of like what advice like would you give to a new runner like say joining your team and they want to get into it. They see the success that you guys have. They want a piece of that. How would you kind of tackle that?
so I mean, it's good to go out there and try to go fast your first year, but you also got to remember it doesn't really matter what you're running seventh grade year, eighth grade year, ninth grade year, and a little bit of sophomore year. It really only matters what you're running junior, senior year, because that's if you want to go to colleges, that's pretty much the only time they're able to contact you, and that's pretty much the only time they need you need to be running fast. But just have fun your first couple of years. There's not pressure on you to go out there and like win states or anything. There's it just yeah, just have make sure to have fun and don't compare your times to like the fastest seventh grader in the country or I'm guilty
Yeah.
of that one though. But or, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us are guilty of it because you get so eager because you do see like, oh, this guy's running 16s or this guy's running, I think there's a kid in eighth grade in North Carolina who runs like who he ran like 15 like 10 this year, and it's just like come on, like, but like you say too, like it's great and I think people get really excited to see like the younger youth like run that fast. But at the end of the day, it's like I would rather you run 15:10 as a senior getting ready for college, not 15:10 as a seventh, eighth grader, and then you never improve after that. Obviously like the progression is important as well, not just getting there to the finish as quickly as possible. Everybody's gonna catch up. So it's good that you kind of acknowledge that as well. And yeah, man. Honestly, like I said, I look forward to just kind of seeing the rest of your uh, like how track goes. Obviously, like it's still super early in training and all that. Obviously on a break, but we have so much more time to go, and we'll be looking for you, man. We'll be keeping up, and we'll be excited, and we'll definitely have you back on when you break 5. How about that?
That sounds well. I'm the goal is to break 5 the first like 2 meets, which I think is manageable since middle school track starts like February. It's like going to be later on, and I think that will happen pretty soon actually.
100%, man. I didn't break. It's crazy. I didn't break. I was going after the sub 5 my eighth grade year, and I ended up running 5:06, and I was like, man, like I really want to do it. It is such like an iconic kind of milestone early on. Like that really is like the first kind of staple point to knock over. So same as like breaking 10 for the first time. Like when I did that, it's just like it's like the world just finally got off my shoulders. Finally, we did it. So, but again, man, I'm expecting it out of you. Obviously, the way you kind of hold yourself and the standard you hold yourself to, um, whether it comes the first two races or towards the very end of the season, or even if it doesn't happen at all, like nevertheless, like always getting better and striving to build that team up even more. That's what it's all about. So I appreciate you, man, for coming on, and like I said, we'll have you back on hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me on too.